Please like and share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Backhand index pointing right, you're not lost, meaning explained, Jesus Christ message. You're not lost, is a powerful reminder that even when life feels confusing or uncertain, you are still on a path that has direction and meaning. The teachings of Jesus Christ show us that feeling lost does not mean you actually are lost, it often means you are in a phase of growth, learning, and change. You may feel unsure. You may not know what to do next. You may feel like nothing is working. But listen carefully. Backhand index pointing right confusion is not failure. My dear friends, many people think they are lost just because they don't have clear answers. But not having clarity right now. Backhand index pointing right does not mean there is no direction. You're not lost, at a deeper level means. Backhand index pointing right, you are learning through experience. Backhand index pointing right, you are growing through challenges. Backhand index pointing right, you are moving forward, even if slowly. Every step you take, even small ones. Backhand index pointing right, they still count. And this changes your mindset. You stop panicking. You stop doubting yourself constantly. Instead, backhand index pointing right, you stay patient. You take one step at a time. You focus on what you can do today. Even without knowing the full future. Backhand index pointing right, you keep going. At the same time, the message of Jesus Christ reminds you that direction becomes clear with time. Backhand index pointing right, when you keep moving, clarity comes. So don't think you are lost. Don't lose confidence in yourself. Trust your journey. Because when you truly understand, you're not lost. You don't feel confused or stuck. You move forward with patience, trust, and quiet confidence, knowing that even if the path is not fully visible, you are still going in the right direction. Backhand index pointing right, you're not lost, Jesus Christ message, Part 2. As you go deeper into this truth, you begin to realize something even more powerful. You're not lost, means you are in a process, not at a dead end. The teachings of Jesus Christ remind us that every stage of confusion is often a stage of preparation. You may feel like nothing is clear. You may feel like you're not making progress. But now, backhand index pointing right, you start to see it differently. My dear friends, just because you don't see results yet, backhand index pointing right doesn't mean nothing is happening. Growth is often silent. Progress is often invisible in the beginning. But that doesn't make it unreal. You're not lost, at this stage means you are being shaped. You are learning patience. You are building strength. You are developing clarity step by step. And this is powerful. Because now, backhand index pointing right, you stop judging your journey too quickly. You don't rush the process. You don't compare yourself to others. Backhand index pointing right, you stay focused on your path. Even when things feel slow. Backhand index pointing right, you keep going. At the same time, the message of Jesus Christ reminds you that preparation leads to purpose. Backhand index pointing right, what you are going through now is preparing you for what is ahead. So don't feel stuck. Don't feel left behind. Trust your progress. Because when you truly understand, you're not lost. You don't feel like you are failing. You move forward with patience and trust, knowing that every step, even the uncertain ones, is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Backhand index pointing right, you're not lost, Jesus Christ message, Part 3. As you continue, you begin to understand something even deeper. You're not lost, means you are being redirected, not rejected. The teachings of Jesus Christ remind us that when plans don't work out, it doesn't mean your journey has failed, it means your path is being adjusted. You may have expected things to go one way. You may have planned everything clearly. But life changed. Backhand index pointing right, and it confused you. My dear friends, this is where perspective matters. Just because something didn't happen, backhand index pointing right, doesn't mean it wasn't for your good. sometimes what you wanted. Backhand index pointing right was not what you needed. You're not lost at this stage means redirection. Closed doors are not the end. Delays are not rejection. Backhand index pointing right, they are guidance. And this is powerful. Because now, backhand index pointing right, you stop taking everything as failure. You begin to trust that changes have meaning. You begin to see that every turn is shaping your path. Even when things don't go as planned. Backhand index pointing right, you don't lose faith. At the same time, the message of Jesus Christ reminds you that direction can change for a reason. Backhand index pointing right, what is meant for you will come in the right way. So don't feel discouraged. Don't think you are off track. Trust the redirection. Because when you truly understand, you're not lost. You don't feel rejected by life. You move forward with trust and confidence, knowing that every change, every delay, and every unexpected turn is guiding you toward the path that is right for you. Backhand index pointing right, you're not lost, Jesus Christ message, Part 4. As you go deeper into this truth, you discover something even more powerful. You're not lost becomes inner confidence and direction from within. The teachings of Jesus Christ remind us that clarity does not always come from outside, it grows inside you over time. You may still not have all the answers. You may still feel uncertain about the future. But now, backhand index pointing right, you don't feel completely confused anymore. My dear friends, this is where confidence begins. You stop searching everywhere for direction. You stop depending on others to decide your path. Instead, backhand index pointing right, you start trusting yourself. You're not lost at this stage means inner guidance. You listen to your thoughts. You understand your values. You make decisions with awareness. And this is powerful. Because now, backhand index pointing right, you are not directionless anymore. Even if the full path is not visible. Backhand index pointing right, you know your next step. You move forward calmly. You take action with clarity. You stay focused without overthinking. At the same time, the message of Jesus Christ reminds you that clarity comes step by step. Backhand index pointing right, you don't need to see the whole path to move forward. So keep going. Trust yourself. Stay focused. Because when you truly live, you're not lost. You don't feel confused or stuck. You move forward with inner confidence, clear thinking, and steady progress, knowing that each step you take is leading you closer to where you are meant to be.